So, this is Laurie Duncan, and this is a REWD Group podcast. Tune in. So, we've started recording these podcasts when we are in the car to make use of our time, which I think is super awesome. And we're going to be loading them all up to YouTube for you guys to all tune in and check out at your convenience. I am currently in my old man's car because we are waiting on our Ford Rangers arriving, if you've not heard about that. I don't know if we talk about that much, but it's cool. We're waiting on our new REWD vehicles arriving, basically. It is the 26th of January 2022, and this is my first REWD Group podcast from the car with the wee car holder things that we got. And it looks like it's a cool setup. So what I decided to do was, ages ago I created this spreadsheet document called 365 Posts, and originally the idea was to use it for social media content, and every day I was going to basically take the data from that and put it into a post and put it on social media. I did actually start doing that, and then I kind of, it faded out because I felt it was a bit more kind of natural for me just to write something every day. So I usually write something now at the end of the night, and first thing in the morning when I get up I post it, and that's like the social media post for the day. But that document had loads of different ideas of different topics that we could post about to try and keep our social media engagement up. So I thought it would be cool if we basically used that document. Certainly I'm going anyway, I don't know about Ed and Connor. If we used that document and just took each different topic and worked our way through it, right? So originally I had sorted everything by a particular topic, like mindset stuff or deal examples or extravagance or like life or whatever, stuff like that. And rather than kind of go through them in that order, I thought I'm just going to sort them by numerical alphabetical sequence, and whatever the topic ends up being for the drive, I'll always check it before I start driving. I'll start recording, then that's what the topic's going to be, right? So naturally, when I sorted the spreadsheet, the first topic was a numerical reference, and that is number 1, Union Road. Bizarrely, you may or may not believe, I actually just live along the road from Union Road, right? There's our 2 HMOs there on Union Road, and just to the right of me is number 1 Union Road. Now what is the chances of that happening, baby? Power of the universe, that's what I say. I'm just going to get a PDA, what do you call it? Foot therapy thing, which is just around the corner from my house. So anyway, I just passed Union Road, and 1 Union Road is the topic for today. So 1 Union Road was the third property that I purchased in my personal name just when we were getting started. So that's what, about 3 years ago now. 3 years ago now, yeah, and it was my third one in my personal name. And there was 3 of these types of examples that I bought all at the one time. You may or may not already be aware. And basically there was 3 properties around the same kind of time that were valued at 65k. These were all in the open market, and I bought all 3 of them for 50k, which is a 23% discount. And that type of deal is available on the open market as well. I'm sure you'll have heard us say many times before. But 1 Union Road was one of them, and basically, bought it on a mortgage because I didn't really know what I was doing back then. I bought it on a mortgage, and some of you might be thinking, well, LD man, but you need to buy on mortgages because then you can leverage better, right? Yes and no, but there's very strategic reasons that you don't want to be acquiring properties with mortgages, because you're never going to get the deals in front of somebody that's got cash is the thing. It doesn't have to be your own cash. But at that time, we didn't really know what we were doing, and I was just going to buy personally to try and create this financial freedom thing that everybody starts going after when they get into this property game. But anyway, 1 Union Road, purchased for 50 grand, was worth 65, bought it on a mortgage with like Leeds Building Society or something like that. Had to put 15 grand in as a total investment of cash, because that was like 12.5 grand, which was a 25% deposit. 4% ADS, which was a couple of grand, legals and whatever other kind of fees, maybe compliance upgrades, stuff like that I had to do. So the total investment was 16k. 6 months later, because I had to wait on this 6-month rule that you do again when you're in phase 1, 6 months later I put a mortgage application in to refinance the property, and I hadn't even spent anything on it, right? Maybe like a lick of paint, and I think that was about it. I think there was like a weird pink room, and it was just looking a bit scabby, you know, so gave it a paint and all that. And that was the only kind of work that I'd done in terms of refurb. Put the mortgage application in, surveyor came out, refinanced to TMW. Again, if you're dealing in phase 1, you're going to be dealing with the likes of TMW. So at the time it was TMW, refinanced it. I think I got an 80% mortgage at the 65k, because it valued at the 65 grand, and that was it. Refinanced, got all my money back out. Property rents for $550 a month actually, so the cash flow's pretty good on that. Ends up about maybe 300 quid a month, something like that, on that property. And you know, that's the first topic for this podcast. That is a deal example that, you know, I would probably still kind of buy all day long if I had some cash sitting in the bank. But, you know, what we do through REWD Group is much more strategic than that. But it just goes to show you how simple property investment can be when you know what you're doing, right? That was an all cash out deal. Okay, we had to wait like 9 months before the thing completed on the refinance, but still own it. It's appreciating in value, and the cash flow's been solid for me. So there you go. First podcast, number 1, Union Road in Grangemouth, opposite our 2 HMOs. The HMOs are obviously much more interesting in terms of the cash flow. And again, if you've not seen any information about that, check out the REWD Group YouTube channel. There's tons of cool videos in there, and there will be tons more podcasts like this coming as we move forward. This is a new plan for 2022. Try and increase our exposure and all that, get ourselves out there a bit more, allow more and more people to get to know us, who we are, what we do. So hope that's been interesting and valuable to you. If you have not yet subscribed to the podcast, please subscribe, because there's going to be, there'll be tons of data. There'll probably end up about, I don't know, there could be close to like 600, 700 videos or podcast recordings on there. So there's going to be a lot of good stuff. Some from me, some from Mr. Alex Robertson, my business partner, and some from Mr. Connor Tracy, who is more than Scotland's #1 sourcer. Very experienced guy, very young guy, although he does look very old. We joke with him. But anyway, hope that's been useful for you. Subscribe. Thank you for listening, and I cannot wait to catch up with you again soon. Cheers.